You get a movie, you get a movie, you get a movie, you get a movie. You executively produce a movie. I'm not putting your name behind the movie. You're a little bit controversial, but you're gonna kind of get a movie. Your name will be in the end credits as well. Yo, what's up and welcome back. It's back as always, Angel's Reach. Of course, I'm Angel, and today, shout out to Jaunty for having a Blackberry Kush 1.5 gram Indica vape. Wow, I didn't even mean to. Yo, it's Monday Movie Madness, and what I mean by that is it's Tuesday, and I'm probably not going to upload this on a Monday either. But for the sake of assonance, Monday Movie Madness, or alliteration rather. Assonance is more so the sound and not the beginning of the thing. I guess alliteration is a little bit more specific than assonance. Assonance is the sound that is like similar. I guess alliteration is specifically the letter at the beginning, which I guess is assonance in some way. Okay, now I've been watching a lot of movies. First of all, I want to give an update to a movie I watched. I want to give a little update on a video I uploaded not too long ago called Spider Verse Mog's Uncut Gems, and in it I said that I didn't see Uncut Gems, but I saw that the streamer Northern Lion was giving a straight at anybody who put Spider Verse in the top four and saying that they wouldn't appreciate like good movies and stuff like that, like an Uncut Gems. And I was like, wow, okay, cool. So Uncut Gems is apparently this great movie, and Spider Verse isn't because it's an animated movie. And I was like, you know what? All right, cool, whatever. I'll watch Uncut Gems, and I didn't get around to it. And then I saw it on HBO Max. And I was like, you know what? I've been putting this off for way too long. Let me just watch it. And so I watched it, and I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. I thought it was a great film. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. I thought it was absolutely amazing. Ooh, I thought it was absolutely amazing. I enjoyed every second of it. Um, Okay, every second of it is a stretch, but I mean, I really, really enjoyed the movie. I thought I would have some trouble with Adam Sandler's character, specifically because when Adam Sandler like yells or anything, just like that, "Rah!" Like I just can't like not see him in a comedic role, and like I have too much nostalgia for him and like memories of him playing like goofy characters and yelling like that, and like I couldn't take it seriously sometimes. So I mean, but that's my own fault, you know what I mean? He can't kind of help that he is his own person and was acting his ass off in this performance, and let me get into that a little bit too. The Adam Sandler was like absolutely phenomenal. I found myself obviously rooting for the character, not just because he was a protagonist, but just because he was like so like charming, you know what I mean, and like annoyingly lovable. You can't help but like nudge the guy or just like tell him like shut up, dude. You know what I mean? Like you're doing too much, and um, like just like he was really really like a scummy guy at times, and he was like betting everything and like uh he had his like mistress away from like his other family, and like don't get me started on Julia. She was a phenomenal character as well. I think it was super super unfortunate that she was like very faithful to him, and unfortunate the situation that made it look like she was like cheating on him and stuff, although she wasn't, and taking safety precautions and all that. It was just like really really phenomenal writing, and like it reminded me of what's it called? It was very similar to the pacing of Marty Supreme, and that makes sense because Safdie directed both, and so it made sense a lot to me because like in Marty Supreme, it was also like one thing after another happening. It was like one battle after another. No, it was legitimately like one event getting thrown at you after another. And while it seemed like every single time you were like getting to some point where you felt safe with the pacing, and something else got thrown at you, and you were just constantly kept on your toes and being challenged. And it was an insane amount of tension being built up. And yeah. The music selection was fantastic. The color grading, I think, was phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. I think like the cold, gritty, like cynical, like or bleak New York, blue grayish like lighting and stuff, and like the fluorescent like green lights and like yeah, I thought it was like I thought it was insane world building. I thought Adam Sandler crushed it as Howard. I thought he was just like um I think throughout the whole movie, he was just somebody uh, that you wanted to. succeed, and like from the moment he would place bets to the minute you or the closeness you saw of his like family members during the Jewish holiday at the house and stuff, and you saw like how poor his relationship is with his family and stuff. Like throughout the whole movie, you're like rooting for the guys like to like get his money back, to get this debt paid off, to like prove that he is like a little bit like he is meant for a little bit more, and he is like a lot like he isn't just like this mistake that like he's fucking up. There's that really sad moment where he's just like crying in his hands and like saying like he's just like he keeps messing everything up, can anything go his way, and it like I mean like Adam was definitely acting his ass off. Like I could definitely see like why people were like moved by that moment. And although I was like, okay, I see you, Adam said. It didn't quite bring me there. I was like, this is just an incredible performance, and I think that like I think we forget how talented Adam is, man. Just because like just because of how reliable his comedy movies are. I mean the dramatic roles, and when he's serious, and he wants to like really just convey a character on screen, he really can. And I thought it was great. I thought it was great, and I thought at the end the movie kind of became a Kevin Garnett highlight. He was just watching the basketball, and honestly, I get it. It was building tension, and like the sweating, the close ups, the points being made, and the cousins and debt collector stuck in the like glass box at the end, and all of it building up just to the crescendo, or like to the not crescendo, to the oh my gosh, what is the C word that's like all building up to the cathartic finish of unfortunately Adam Sandler's character Howard getting shot, Howie. It's just like it was a phenomenal build up, and it was like very so like Jaws stringy like tension like dun 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 dun, until it finally happened. And I think it was incredible. Unfortunately, I did have it spoiled for me, and I'm not gonna take points away for that. But like I did see a shot. I did see a shot online of like Adam Sandler getting shot in the movie and stuff. So like I did ultimately know he was gonna die, but I like that doesn't take away from the well. It does kind of take away from the ending. I feel like if I would have saw that, it probably would have bumped it up. Like maybe, no, I wouldn't have bumped it up a half star. I'm like being like too lenient, but I thought it was great. I also thought one of my favorite movies was one of my favorite movies. Well, one of my favorite lines that I knew was coming was when I saw online, "Let's fucking bet on this. Let's bet on this," and I thought it was amazing. Lakeith Stanfield, my love. I absolutely love Lakeith Stanfield. I think he's I gotta stop saying phenomenal, but I think he's I think he's a great actor. I think he's great in every role he's in. I will forever like know him as Darius, but I think he even like releases music and stuff sometimes, which is super fun. But I mean, our I like creatively, and just like the energy he brings, the aura he brings to any project is just always on point, and I just always love to see him on screen. Like fantastic job. Specifically, the scene where they were like in the club and he was wearing the orange like neon and like sticking out a little bit more, and the relationship he had with Howie, and how he was dunking him and making it to like and breaking like Howie's like life like kind of miserable, but like to for him in the long run essentially. Yeah, I mean, like it's like the disconnect between the characters that said a lot. You know what I mean? And it's like it's like the things that Howie didn't do that like spoke more to his character than the things that he did say or do. You know what I mean? That being said, it's not better than Spider Verse. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think it's incredible. I will 100% say that I was wrong for like thinking that it was just gonna be like a shit like Oscar. I didn't think it was gonna be like a shit Oscar rating film, but I did think it was just gonna be like a dramatic film that like Adam Sandler was gonna try too hard in, and not so. And like I also did what's it called uh I also did in the back of my mind be like, all right, this has to not be better than Spider Verse. So I was a little bit biased there, but like all of that kind of washed away within like the first 5 minutes when I saw like the shots and like the sweat, like and the intensity and the shadows and like the like the sound design of like the first couple minutes. I was like, ah man, like it literally the pride literally washed away from my body, like it drained from like the neck down or like the head down. I could feel it behind me washing down, and I was like, "Oh man, I have to really just accept that this is going to be a different movie. This is really going to be like a. This isn't just going to be like some shit I forget about, like in a few days or months or something like that. This is actually going to be a good movie." And I was like, "Okay, cool. You know what? I'm willing to accept I'm wrong. You know, and yeah, I was wrong. I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was like not. I thought it wasn't gonna hold a candle to Spider Verse, and it's a really, really great movie that deserves its props. And you should definitely watch it if you haven't. It's very tense. Um, it's very gritty. It's very on it. Not very honest. I meant it like in a very like raw way, but it's it's just a fun watch. I think it's a fun watch that you should check out for sure. And I want to give my props to it because it's a phenomenal. But it's phenomenal. But not better than Spider Verse. I still think Beyond the Spider Verse or Across the Spider Verse is a 5 out of 5 phenomenal. Literally every frame intentional, every moment, every second, every line of dialogue, like every element of that movie adds up to the sum of its parts, and it's even greater together, but I mean every individual element in it, like there was moments where I was upset at, yeah, even like the characters in Uncut Gems, and like obviously you're supposed to not vote for them sometimes and like them sometimes, but like I just found myself rolling my eyes at some characters, and like just like moments happening that I was like, all right, can we like speed like again, like the multiple points being scored and just watching straight up basketball like for like 10 minutes. I was like, all right, like I get it, dude. All right, not 10 minutes straight, but like over the course of the movie, I was like, that's like 20 minutes of the movie. Okay, I love Kevin Garnett. He's a goat. Celtics ring, like Boston, like stand up, but like what? Oh, okay. But anyways, yeah. Spider Verse, perfect. Well, I'll kind of end my Uncut Gem Spider Verse conversation there because I feel like I've already said everything I need to say about Spider Verse. I absolutely love the film. I think it's perfect, flawless. I really recommend you go watch it as well. Like I mean, I mean, it's like even if like you can't, even if you're deaf and can't read, like even just the visuals are fantastic. Even you can only hear it. I think the storytelling is amazing, and the voice acting is, it's so like they sell it incredibly well. It's like so, it's so phenomenal. Um, yeah, I'll end it there. Definitely go watch that as well. I don't know if I talked about it, but The Bride, it's a movie I saw with Jesse Buckley and Christian Bale. I thought it was dope. Really fantastic movie about creation and like life. Really, I saw it and I thought it was very like a little bit more like the feminist woman empowering forward, and I was like I was a big fan of that, but then after a point I feel like it got drilled home a little bit too much, and I was like, all right, I get it. And then I kind of went into it biased as well because I went in thinking it was just going to be like a Bride of Frankenstein sort of empowerment, and that's I think what it was trying to do, but it sort of fell flat. And it had like a lot of focus on Christian Bale's sort of loneliness and his like inability to be alone, and that sort of inconveniencing Jesse Buckley's character. And I think Jesse Buckley was absolutely phenomenal. And I I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a great word. It's a what do you want me to say? She had an absolutely stellar performance, and I'm using absolutely as well a lot. So you know what I mean? Like I gotta up my vocab. I was just talking about like assonance and alliteration. Now I'm using phenomenal like for the sixth time. Um but yeah, she really played a convincing possessed woman. I think the message about identity and like uh being the bride, not just of the Bride of Frankenstein or the bride of your previous life, which I think played a really interesting role. The angle of her like using her past life sort of as a expectation, or like what like was implied for like society and stuff, or also what Mary Shelley wrote out for her and stuff. I think that was super dope and interesting. um I I mean the dance sequence was weird. Like that was really interesting, and I really love the relationship though. I think like I initially hated it because I wanted it to be more like centric on like the bride's like life and stuff. And like I love Christian Bale. Don't get me wrong. He did a good job in this movie, but I was just sort of under the impression that it was going to be more so about Jessie Buckley's character as the bride, and less so about the relationship. But I don't know. The relationship felt a little bit forced, and honestly, like I was not rooting for it until like about like the like three quarters point, or like a little bit more than halfway point. I was like, uh I understood that like Christian Bale's character was like that Christian Bale's character Frankenstein was lonely and that he needed a bride, and like he didn't want to live that long. Like seeing him as a monster and stuff. I read Frankenstein. I guess I listened to Frankenstein technically, but read Frankenstein. I know what it's about, and I was really like ready to like just let that go. Be like maybe the first 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes even of the film, and then like it go on to like Jesse's character as the bride and sort of where she goes. And I don't think that they built the relationship enough. And I mean, granted, that's sort of the reality of the situation, is like the tragedy in reality of the situation, that like Frankenstein, like, you know, be careful what you wish for, and it might not be exactly what he wanted. And so like that, I mean, that's cool that that happens, but I mean it all just felt like sort of I guess pointless in a way. Like it just like it built up this relationship to break it, to prove like, hey, like you don't need to have a relationship, and like, you know, you could be yourself. Now get into this relationship, and then I don't know, like it did make me really like want to partner like at the end, like to like take over the world with, and like watch the world burn with and stuff. But like I think like that was just because it was like a couple at the end who was just like taking on the world sort of thing. So like yeah, but I do think Jessie Buckley was fantastic in this role, and she was very very convincing. She wasn't over the top, and she certainly didn't undersell it at all. Christian Bale, like I said, was good in the movie. It was an all right watch, you know what I mean? Would I watch it again? Probably not. Would I watch it with friends again? Maybe, you know what I mean? For like a night out, but like on my own, probably not. But yeah. Um and I kind of feel bad because I kind of liked that movie a little bit more, but I went to go see Project Hail Mary. Not on Screen X, unfortunately, but I went to go see Project Hail Mary with a friend of mine in 4DX actually. And it was amazing. It was amazing. It was almost a perfect movie. I think it was a masterpiece. It was it blew my mind. I mean, I went in there like specifically the trailer convinced me or pulled me in because they played Champagne Supernova, which is like a killer Oasis song that uh I'm a pretty big fan of, and they had it like dramatically playing with like a lot of space shots. And I was like, you know what, as long you know, I might just show up parts of the movie, and like I just want to see like a couple dope shots of space, and you know that'll be it. And you know, like I did have my like bar pretty low. I was just like, you know, this could be like some like CGI, you know, space slot movie, and I might just like give it a pass, you know, because like that was just kind of what I was in the mood for, especially with the trailer. It was like just so epic and grandiose, and I was like so ready to just like, you know what, just string me, send off some fireworks, some supernovas in the sky, have like a reverb echoed version of Oasis's Champagne Supernova playing, and like I'm good, you know what I mean? Like let me just enjoy some space shots, and like let's call it a day. But the movie ended up being much more than that, and surprisingly and pleasantly surprised me. So the 40X elements obviously added a lot to it. It was super dope, like getting hit around in space because he's in a spaceship. And if you don't know the plot of the movie, I just realized I didn't sort of give the plot to Uncut Gems or The Bride, but I will give the plot of Project Hail Mary because yeah, I think it was just so good. I think it's really worth it. And I'd recommend you watch it like now. You can't get seats in IMAX or anything like that. They're all booked. Uh, uh, Appropriately so. That movie was probably like insane in IMAX. It was like already sick in 40X. But a Project Hail Mary X is starring Ryan Gosling, and it is the movie revolves around his mission to uh sort of study this new uh element or this disturbance in the sort of solar system. So basically, all stars are sort of dying, but they realize that the sun, there's like a infrared light or UV light that it shares with Venus. That's similar to Venus, or an IV ray that's similar, or UV ray that's similar to Venus, infrared light that's similar to Venus, and it's dimming the sun, and it's doing a similar thing, and that same element is doing a similar thing to different stars. And so what Project Hail Mary is a sort of long shot in the dark to get a bunch of or some three astronauts, a scientist, a engineer, and a, oh my gosh, producer. No, it wasn't producer. It was a plan to get three astronauts into space to explore the Petrova line, which is the infrared line that the space and Venus shared, that has the foreign alien called astrophage or astrophage, something like that. I forgot the word already. Astrophage, I think it is. This mysterious element that's like dimming the lights and stuff. And so the movie revolves around Ryan Gosling remembering what his mission is because he wakes up in space in a coma, unsure of what to do, and he's slowly recuperating memories of like him being a school teacher and him being recruited by the U.S. government, or the world government, I guess, to um, there's a lot of funny moments with that because like it's a world government. It's not just like, the U.S. government. They play on that. Lionel Boyce, who plays Carl, like a member of the government, is such a dope character in it. Oh my god. But yeah. Let me not get too sidetracked. The it revolves around it revolves around a lot of flashbacks of him remembering the government like recruiting him, and like him uh you find out towards the end of the movie that he didn't want to go on the mission at all, and like he wasn't like this brave soldier or like this like this leader sort of guy who really believed in like his message and research and stuff. He was just like this regular sort of guy who ended up being really smart and right about things, and just like wow, I'm not really selling it. I'm not really selling it well. I'm thinking about the words I'm choosing right now, and I'm describing like the lamest part of it. Okay, let me actually get into the meat and potatoes of the actual movie. So while Ryan Gosling is realizing that he's sent on a mission to explore the um unknown element that is dimming the sun, he finds an extraterrestrial life form, and he finds out that it's very smart, and he befriends it, and he finds out that they are on the same mission. Eventually, he gets to communicating with it so well to the point where they form a relationship, a bond, and um, they get some work done on the astrophage, which is like the mysterious element, and they start finding out why it went to the sun, why it's dimming it, and they're finding out like it's reproducing, and they find that it has a natural predator on like every planet except Venus, I think, which is why it was sharing infrared light or something. I'm really bad at the science elements of it. There's a lot of technical stuff that I couldn't get behind, but it's a very phenomenal. It is a very heart touching film about friendship, bravery, and the relationships you make, because and purpose, I guess, because a lot of the movie you find you're figuring out Ryan Gosling's life, or you're figuring out who Ryan Gosling is along with him, and you initially think that he was like this like beloved like friendly scientist that a lot of people like were close with, and he got sent on a mission with people he cared about and stuff, but you find out that like he didn't even want to go, and you find out like he does isn't close to the people he was into the ship with at all, and he didn't really have a relationship with the people on Earth either, and so they sort of just forced and drugged and forced him to go on the mission, and his character gleams uh, of like uh courage and hesitance throughout the entire film. I mean, he's very well aware that he is not like a savior character. He denies it every chance he gets. I mean, there's a scene in the movie where like he's talking to the alien life. That's called the Rocky, by the way. The alien is called the Rocky, which is super fun because the friend that I went with is probably the biggest Rocky fan I know, and so yeah, she it was super dope seeing her catch all the Rocky references and stuff. It was awesome. Adrian. It was super dope. It was super dope. But with the movie relying a lot about like bravery and like courage and purpose, yeah, I mean Ryan Gosling, I mean, first of all, he's a hunk. Like he was absolutely like beautiful and a cutie pie, and like couldn't stop looking at him the entire movie. I mean, like, what a treasure. What an American treasure. He's American, right? There's no way he's a Canadian or something. What an American treasure, man. Ryan Gosling kills it in absolutely every role he's in. But specifically this movie, he played a very like reserved, like sensitive, at times like pretentious idiot, and I think it played and I think it translated super well into like that like I think it translated super well with like an alien. I think that like weird sort of selfless and at the same time self-absorbed character is a phenomenal foil. I did that for the assonance. I did that for the assonance. It's not alliteration that time because phenomenal and foil start with two different letters. The more you know. But I did it for the assonance. But Ryan Gosling does play a really good foil to the alien, just because the alien is more matter of fact, very much so. Uh very so blunt and direct, childlike almost, and that's actually kind of my favorite part of the movie. Though the alien was my favorite part of the movie, hands down. I absolutely love Ryan Gosling, but I mean, um the movie also kind of like this is just me. I was getting like undertones of like parenthood and stuff, dude. It was really emotional because not only was Ryan Gosling a school teacher, you know what I mean, and he was um like the beginning of the movie starts with like a bunch of kids in his science class asking him about, why like if the sun's getting eaten, or like what's gonna happen, which was crazy because they were like in fourth grade asking like these crazy questions and I was like, dude, like who told you that the sun is gonna explode after like this other like foreign element went and was eating it? Like what the hell? Like you sound crazy. But before he got recruited to the government, it showed him like with the kids and teaching them science well, and like getting them hyped for it. And so my absolute favorite element of this movie is the relationship that Ryan Gosling shows with the alien Rocky, specifically how he sort of nurtures him, how he cares for him like a kid, but simultaneously he's a mentor to him. Like he's just, I mean, light years ahead of him in thinking. He just has like I mean, he's just like intelligent, like on simply a different dimension. The technology that they have is insane. Like they see he is a crafter. Like the Rocky is a alien that like makes uh that like almost spools xenon, which is a gas, but he somehow makes it solid. And he's just like a really interesting critter who's also sent on a mission to find out what foreign element it was that was dimming the lights on his planet as well. And so they were both sent on a similar mission, and as they get to communicating and learning, they understand each other more, and they just build this really beautiful relationship that's like where they sort of where specifically Ryan Gosling switches between being the student and like the teacher, you know, teaching Rocky English phrases and then like ways to communicate and like things to say, like, oh, I need a word for this, or you know what I mean, and then like in turn Rocky teaches Ryan Gosling a lot about like the science aspect of things and like why things are going on in space, and it's a really or yeah, like he makes like really large scale diagrams and very accurate dioramas and stuff like that, and constantly is mocking Ryan Gosling for like having a low IQ. His character in the movie is Grace, by the way. But yeah, but there's a lot of charm in particularly the lack of communication that that Grace Ryan Gosling character and Rocky have. It's really like the fact that that they have to somehow come to an understanding together and with nothing but like their hand movements, and eventually Ryan gets like technology that he's able to translate the Rockies speaking patterns, and then that gets to a fun interesting element as well. I really loved when it was mostly like physical and like the banter that was the like sort of slapstick banter between Grace and Rocky, because I thought it was super like childlike, and it was super innocent, super sweet, and um I sort of got bummed out when he finally gave Rocky a voice, because I thought it was gonna lose a lot of the charm, and I was like, oh no, it's not, you know, like I was already feeling so many emotions for this like inanimate object that wasn't even like speaking. Now you're gonna add like this like goofy voice to it, and shout out Meryl Streep. She got a much of deserved shout out for when they were doing like the voice acting and the voice selection. Um, I thought he was gonna lose a lot of the charm, but I think that they utilize the matter of fact in the speech really well, like ending questions with the word questions, like that got kind of annoying, but like it was a fun like little detail. But yeah, a lot of the charm comes from like the inability to communicate properly, and just like the lengths that they go to for each other and for the world, you know what I mean. They're both sent on missions from their earths and stuff. You learn that Rocky was sent with I think 23 other Iridians, which was his race. And he has a mate back home, and that he's been with for 138. Oh, the saddest line. One of the saddest lines was, "You have a mate back home," and he was like, "Yeah, I've been with them for 138 years." And he's like, "Oh, it's a long time." And he was like, "Oh, it's not enough." Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And then there was also a scene where where Grace gave Rocky like a bunch of like gifts, like goodbye gifts. And then Rocky was like, "Oh, I didn't get you anything." And Ryan goes like, "You gave me everything." Oh my gosh, the writing was so peak. But no, it was just a really beautiful. It was just a really beautiful story about like friendship and bravery and purpose, and um, it was just phenomenal to see Ryan Gosling like evolve and transform to this character that's like I mean, not that he necessarily knew who he was going in, but sort of find himself and then find himself again, and it's like a really like quick snap that happens when he switches from, you know, being like this like shut off reserved guy to sort of caring about the world and stuff, because while he understands he's on a mission and is like sort of like, I just need to make it happen. There's definitely a lot of stuff that alter him and stop him, and like uh really make it so that like his only option is to sort of give up, and he sort of, you know, has the indomitable human spirit and knows that the world is relying on him, and it sort of becomes something greater than him. He's become a part of something greater than himself, and it translates so meaninglessly on screen. Like I mean, like he I mean, every time he's like looking at like Rocky, you could just see like hope and you know like the future and stuff. And oh my gosh, Ryan Gosling, you're such a treasure, man. Like the ending scene where because in on their way back from successfully researching the astrophage and both going on their way home, uh, both Rocky and Ryan, when they when Ryan's on his way home, he has a problem malfunction, and he realizes that the astrophage is leaking, and he realizes it's good. The same thing is going to happen to Rocky, and instead of going home, he decides to waste his fuel on going to Rocky and like helping him out before ultimately he passes away, either from like the leakage or the explosion, I think, or the poisoning of it all. And so he eventually goes and saves Rocky, and then at the end, uh, he's with Rocky on the Iridium planet, and sort of has found his own purpose there. And like it gives like not only like Ryan a happy ending, but it also just um it sort of like points to like a again hope, like a better future, and like just like a more attentive future. I can't think of I can't think of another word to say. I don't know. I really loved the movie. I thought it was phenomenal. The only thing I was like thinking of a reason not to give it 5 stars. The only thing is like I really kind of wish that we got a little bit more background information on the shipmates. Granted, I know he wasn't too close with them, and that's kind of the point. But like, I mean, it was heartbreaking. The first scene, like they weren't like I didn't even know them that well, but like he was sort of remembering them just via pictures and like slight flashbacks, and even then I was tearing up and I was like, oh man. But then he like threw them out, and obviously it's because you don't want to like have like a dead body around you, like it stinks and stuff. But and also just like it's crazy to have like a dead body around you, you know. But let alone in a tight space, like it's insane, just like the corpse floating around. That's like that'd be insane. Insane, phenomenal. Like I'm going crazy. Okay, but yeah, I just wish we got a little bit more information on the other astronauts, or I wish we got like a little bit more context for back home. But I get also that's kind of the point, and like he didn't really have much going on for him at home, and he sort of had to be convinced to do all this, even though like he did eventually decide to not go. So like I don't know. That was like essentially like the only problem I had with it is like he didn't have much going for him at home, but didn't want to do it. And granted, I know because it's a suicide mission, you wouldn't want to do it as well. Um, but like even just the idea of like saving the world and or like dying with the world in 30 years wasn't getting it through to him. Yeah, I mean, I guess you just can't. I mean, can't. I mean, you could bring a horse to water, right? You know what I mean? Like you could tell someone, hey, the world is gonna end right now if you don't like, press this button, and some people would just be like, well, I'm not a really big button presser. Whatever. Like, subscribe, definitely watch the movies I recommended. Definitely give me a movie to recommend. What? Give wait. Yo! Like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified when I upload. Give me an album. What am I saying? Give me a movie recommendation. Definitely give me a movie that I should go check out. Fuck it. If you want to do an album too, let's do an album. But specifically, give me a movie that I should watch. I'm on Netflix. I'm on HBO Max right now. I have a Regal Pass. So if there's a movie out that's out in Regal theaters, I'll definitely try to give that a watch. But yeah, those are the movies that I've been watching or that I've watched as of late. I'm going to hopefully keep going to Regal, keep going to see more movies that are coming out, and hopefully still watching on whatever streaming platform I have at the moment. And yeah. I'm really happy. I'm really happy. I feel like I've got a stinker movie coming up because every movie that I've talked about, like or that I've seen like in the past couple months and stuff like that, have all been like 3 to 4.5 stars. You know what I mean? Like they've all been great, and so like I've definitely got a stinker coming up, but whatever, man. Whatever. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Give me a movie recommendation. Check out the movies I was talking about. Let me know what you think about them. You might hate the movies. Who knows? Let's discuss civilly. All right, bye. Whatever.